welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, firstly I would like to bring you up to date on my social timeline to where I am at today, and then in my second video I would like to show you a book I've been looking at recently and some of the recipes in that book that I would like to try. So starting off with the first video then, I'm going to carry on my social timeline, bringing us up to where I am today, socially. So since my autism diagnosis, aged 21, in 2009, I have received support from my local autism charity. I built up a good relationship with my previous support worker, who supported me for almost 10 years. Although she now no longer supports me, as she got a new job, we keep in contact and see each other once or twice a year. Thankfully, I also get on really well with my new support worker, who has been supporting me now for just over a year, and that's just pure sort of luck, pure chance, because I have had other support workers in the past that I haven't got on with, and when you don't get on with a support worker, again, it's like really, really awkward, and you sort of feel really kind of like tense. It's just something to do with, I don't know, just like personality. People have different personalities, and some people I click with, and some people I don't click with, and it's really very obvious who you click with and who you don't click with. And I could kind of like, it took me a little while to get used to my new support worker, so of course it was like a change, and you know, and obviously she's different to my previous support worker, but like we really, really get on now, and like, you know, I'm really, really pleased with my new support worker. I get on with her just as well as I did with my previous support worker, so we have built up a rapport and we built up trust, and that does take time to grow as well. And obviously she's been supporting me now for just over a year, but we get on really, really well, so I'm really pleased, because it could have been completely different. So that was just pure luck. But yeah, we have a similar personality and similar interests, and I think also because she has just got the right balance between not being too intense or chatty, but at the same time not being too quiet. So she's just got that right balance, which I like. And this is really beneficial for me, because it means that I do not feel stressed with her. I can talk freely about most things, and I do not feel judged, you know, which is really good. And I feel that she's open-minded and listens to what I say, which is really important. And I also like the fact that we are a similar age, which is nice as well, because I don't particularly like having support workers who are like too much older than me, because that can feel like really awkward, you know, and a bit like, you know, I don't know, a bit embarrassing as well. So it's nice the fact she's a similar age to me. Yeah, and I also find that my support worker gives me just enough social contact, as I see her twice a week on Tuesday and Wednesday morning for 3 hours on each day. That might change in the future, of course, depending, you know, as support needs changes on, but that's working fine for now, and we get on with, and that's really good. Once a month, she also supports me on an all-day outing, which I really enjoy. So we go various places where I travel a bit further, and she supports me all day there, and that's something I really look forward to. It used to be once every 2 months, but it got changed once every month, and that's something I really, really enjoy and look forward to, so that's really good, and it gets me out more and things like that, and builds up my travel confidence. So I think that the reason I can cope with this form of social contact is for the following reasons. You know, the fact that when I'm with my support worker, you know, it's unlike other forms of social contact, that it doesn't come with the stress that other forms of social contact come with. And I've been thinking about it, thinking why this is, and I came up with the following reasons. Firstly, I am in control. That's very important. You know, I feel in control, and I need to feel in control at all times. Secondly, and related to the first point, I decide what we do, you know, obviously within certain limits, you know, because obviously she's paid to support me for a certain number of hours, and obviously, you know, so it's not like we can go literally anywhere, but within those parameters, more or less, I can decide what we do and where we go, the sort of direction of travel. I'm 100% in control. I'm leading it, you know, it's what the sort of like goals I set for myself that my support worker helps me to fulfill. So that's really important, because I feel in control. Thirdly, it is time limited and regular. So, you know I'm seeing her for 3 hours this Tuesday and Wednesday, you know, from this time, 9:30 to 12:30, it's time limited, and regular. So, you know, regular in the sense, you know, I see her every week, it's part of my routine, you know, it's part of my life, that's really important, that consistency. And so, yeah, so her visits are part of my established routine. I know exactly what's happening and when. That's really important to me. And number 4, as I've already mentioned, she shares my interests. So that's important as well, I think, because it means, you know, that I can tell that she's genuinely interested. She's not just faking it, she's not just pretending, you know, because you can tell if someone is genuinely interested, and I know she's interested in similar things, but, you know, not to the same intensity that I am, but that doesn't matter, you know, not expecting that. But, you know, she does share my interests, that's nice. And number 5, she is chatty but not too intense, because I've had previous support workers, some of them were just too intense and just talk too much, and I'm like, slow down, it's too much information, I can't take it all in, and it leaves me feeling overwhelmed. But at the same time, I like being with someone who is chatty and can carry on the conversation. I don't like long silences, long awkward periods of awkwardness, because obviously my social skills aren't like great. Obviously get a lot better than I used to be, but they're not like, I do struggle obviously socially, so it is nice having someone who does take some of the burden of it, so I don't feel like it's all on me to try and talk, because that can be really quite stressful. So yeah, I feel she's just got the right balance there, which I think is part of the reason why I get on with her. Yes, as I say, and it's important as it means I don't have to take on all of the responsibility for socialising, and she is effectively scaffolding the interaction and ensures that it does not feel awkward. And number 6, I could talk about whatever I want, and I can control the conversation's direction, because obviously she's there to support me, so I feel that I can sort of talk about what I want to talk about, and if I want to have a monologue, I just want an info dump, that's absolutely fine, because she's there to support me, so that's really important for me, and it takes away a lot of stress. And so therefore the social dynamic is different to that of a sort of friendship, a sort of informal casual friendship. It's different. I think my social contact with my support worker, in a sense, it serves a similar function to, I guess, that of a friendship. I have to pay for social contact in order not to be isolated. And I think I'll always need that in my life, because I can't make friends, I can't, normals in inverted commas, like normal people, normal in inverted commas, can just make friends and stuff and get their social contact that way, whereas I can't do that, or at least I can't do that with ease, and it's really, really stressful for me. So having someone that I see regularly, although they're not a friend, they're paid, it's in a kind of I guess sort of professional sort of working relationship, as it were, but they serve a similar sort of function in terms of preventing me from feeling isolated, and they give me just enough social contact to make me feel that, because although I'm autistic and although I do really struggle socially and I do find socialising really tiring, but at the same time I'm not don't want to be like a complete recluse. I do need some people in my life. I do have some sort of social, but it's a very small social pot. Most people's social pot is like that, mine's like that, but I do need a small amount. It's just I need to feel 100% in control, and sort of one-to-one with someone I get on really well, so that's really important for me. But unlike a friendship, it's not stressful, because at least part of the reciprocal element is not there, or it's at least toned down. I mean, so in that, what I mean is that obviously I'm completely in control. So unlike in a friendship where you have to kind of do a bit of give and take maybe, and you might have to they might want to go somewhere and you might not want to go, and that's often where friendships fall down for me, because I kind of want to direct everything. I want to control everything. Although I've learned to try and tone down that a bit, that kind of need to control. Masking it, it only goes so far, and it just results in resentment, because although I try and mask it, when it comes to actually acting and carrying out that reciprocity on a long-term basis, I just can't do it, because I just can't, because it's just, I just can't put up with it, I guess I'm quite egocentric in that respect, but, it's part of autism really, isn't it, so, but yeah, as I say, with a support worker, I'm 100% in control, so it takes away that element of reciprocity, and therefore removes that stress. I'm also a lot better socially one-to-one than in groups, because it is less overwhelming and there's not as much information to process. In terms of friendship, I currently only have one offline friend, so obviously, I'm talking offline here, who I see very infrequently for no more than an hour at a time, and he's got Asperger's, and I've known him for a fair amount of time now, and we hardly ever see each other, but we get on and kind of do a bit of email contact, exchange cards, that sort of thing. But I don't, I'm not. That's it really at the moment. So yeah, I do need some social contact, but socialising for its own sake, without a purpose or structure, can be very, very stressful. Just people who say, "Oh, let's just go down and socialise." It's like, to me, What's the point? That is the most boringest thing ever. Why do you just want to sit and just socialise about random stuff? To me, when I'm with someone else, it has to have a purpose. They have to be willing to talk in depth about certain topics that I happen to be fascinated in, or otherwise it's just 100% boring. There has to be a purpose to it. There has to be a point. There has to be a structure. There has to be a routine. I have to feel in control. If all of those factors are present, then I can enjoy the social relationship, but all of those factors must be present. They're non-negotiables. So yeah, I primarily like to find out information from people. I do like to collect information, so I do like to ask people quite a lot of questions. So it's important that they share at least some of my interests. So I might be asking quite a lot of questions about food, or I don't know, talking about philosophy or things like that I happen to be interested in, and I want to draw out information from them, so asking them quite a few questions and stuff. But yeah, at all times I must feel in control. It can also be hard for me to summon up the motivation to meet someone outside of my routine, as my day-to-day life is dominated by my interests, and my routine does tend to come first. So if it's in my routine, if it's in my established routine, like a sport work is, that's fine, it's part of my routine. But if it's not part of my routine, which friendships usually aren't routine-based, you have to kind of have that motivation to keep them going. You have to contact them. And particularly in adulthood, I mean, I've struggled with it all my life, you know, as I said. See, with other videos I talk about my childhood problems making friends. It's a lifelong problem. But I think in some respects, it can be even harder as an adult because you're not around people all the time. So you have to make even more of that effort to kind of like keep things going. And yeah, and often, as I say, because my routines do come first, my interests do come first, I just put it on a back burner. I just think like it's just not top priority. People are not top priority. My interests are top priority. So people only really come into my life if they still have a function connected to my routine to interest. If a person has become part of my routine, then they become, yeah, they're part of my routine. You know, but if they're not part of my routine or not connected to my interests, then they will always take second place in terms of priority. So I think that's it in a nutshell, really. So I'm going to finish this video now, and I'm going to now move on to video number 2 to guide you through some recipes. But do please share any comments below. I'll be interested to know if any of this resonates with you, and also I might well come back to this topic in a future video in terms of my present day social stuff. We'll see about that. But now I'm going to be moving on to video number 2.